Hey, good morning, Georgiana. Welcome to our Take 5. It's good to be with you. A couple of real quick thank yous before I get to the passage we have this morning. First of all, a huge shout out to Janice for the great job that she did last week. I just couldn't begin to thank her enough. It gave me a chance to catch my breath and focus on some other things, and she did a beautiful job. So I'm sure we'll be seeing her again. And some other guest preachers and pastors to step in from time to time. Huge thank you to Janice for that. Secondly, I want to thank the church for the outreach that we've just done. Love is never unmentionable. This could not have gone better this past week. Just overwhelmed with the amount of underwear and socks we've collected. The ripple effect of love that will happen over our community in the next 2 weeks is the best way we could have celebrated Valentine's Day. So a huge thank you to you, the church, for your generosity and for the way that you step up every single time. All right, let's get to our devotion this morning. It comes from the book of Isaiah, chapter 26. Verses 3 through 4. And part of what I love about Scripture is the timeless nature of it, right? That you can take a passage written thousands of years ago, bring it to life, and then you place it in our world today, and it's just as relevant. So it says this: "You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in you. Trust in the Lord forever, for the Lord himself, is the rock eternal." All right. Couple of things out of this. I don't know any of us today that could not use some perfect peace, whatever that looks like. And I think we don't know what that looks like because I haven't met the person that has it all together in a way that has perfect peace, right? Just that complete peace. But isn't it interesting that the prophet says that perfect peace comes from being steadfast, which means that you're unmoving, you're unyielding, you are staying firm. It's very consistent with what we've been preaching on Sundays, what Jesus' warnings to the 7 churches were. Stand firm, don't yield, don't back down. That peace comes from a resolute mind and heart about who God is, right? And then the second part of that is says, the trust in the Lord forever. And that if you will trust in the Lord, then he will be your rock eternal. So there's 2 pieces of that I want to unpack. I think we live in a world now where it's hard to trust anything, right? You can't trust whether the news show you're watching is the actual news or if it's fake news or somebody's agenda-driven news. It's hard to trust people in our lives. Trust is at an all-time low for us right now. But in order for us to be in relationship, you have to trust. So what I try to tell people is that while I get disappointed in others from time to time, when I trust in Jesus, then that relationship is what drives all relationships. But that trust has to begin somewhere. Will I be disappointed by people in life? Absolutely. We're living in a world full of sinners, of which I may be the greatest. The bottom line is that when you place your trust in the Lord, then everything after that is not perfect, but peace begins to align. And you begin to handle the challenges and circumstances of life a little better. So the last piece to this passage that I want to talk about is that the imagery that the prophet wants to use is that when you trust in the Lord, when you find that perfect peace, then it will be like a rock eternal. So let me share another passage with you that comes from Jesus in Matthew chapter 7. If I can pull it up here. Yeah. And it's a passage you know well, but I think it'll tie the 2 together. It says, "Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against the house, yet it did not fall because it had its foundation on the rock. But everyone who hears these words of mine but does not put them into practice is like a foolish man who built his house on the sand. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against the house, and it fell with a great crash." Part of what the prophet is saying is very similar to what Jesus comes back and says. The things that you put your trust in is what allows you to have stability and strength in this world. Right? So I want us to think about this week as we process this passage. I want us to think about what the pursuit of perfect peace looks like. I want us to think about what we've placed our trust in. Where is our hope, right? What are we anchoring our trust in? And is it built on a solid rock of Jesus Christ and his word? And when we do those things, it's amazing how God's perfect will begins to come into place, right? So all of it is intertwined, right? So our peace, our who and what we trust, and then the rock we're building our life on, the foundations that we're pouring. So that's the word for this morning. I hope it blesses you. I hope it kicks your day off in a way that launches you into a great week. Know that I love you, church. I love this time that we have together on Monday mornings, and I look forward to being with you again this week.